The Federal Communications Department didn't find out about last month's deadly Optus outage until nearly a day later because initial information went to the wrong email address. That's according to the department's Deputy Secretary. There have been fiery exchanges in Senate estimates this morning, with senators suggesting the department didn't complete its due diligence. Let's get more from political reporter Stephanie Boris now. Steph, we've been given a bit more of the timeline on the Optus outage from the government's point of view. What have we learnt?
Hi there, Ros. Well, this is all about who knew what and when, but even that story has changed over the past couple of hours as senators asked more and more questions of the department. So what we know to be fact is that Optus did have this outage around midnight on September the 18th, and that led to hundreds of calls not being able to get through to 000 in a number of states and has been linked to multiple deaths. Today, the department was asked when it first learnt about the Optus outage. In the opening statement, the department said that it was first alerted on the Thursday in the afternoon via email, but under further questioning, we learnt that no one actually checked that email account until the following day, Friday. The reason why? Well, earlier this year, we're still waiting on a date as to when that was, there was a changeover in which email telcos should use to alert the department to when an outage occurs, and that has happened. Optus has apparently been using the new email address to tell the department about certain outages, but in this case, it went to the wrong email address and no one checked it. Now, through Senate estimates, we have received the emails today explaining and showing exactly what was said and to who. What was fascinating when we read these emails, and some of the senators picked up on it, was the fact that these emails did CC in the Minister's Office, the Communications Minister's Office, Annika Wells. That's despite all of the department telling senators today that no one really knew about it until Friday afternoon when ACMA, which is the Australian Communications Media Authority, notified not just the department, but then of course the Minister's Office too. Let's take a listen to some of the exchange today and see if you can follow along with it.
That communication referred to in the statement was sent to the wrong address, which we have told industry a number of times is not to be used as a source for notification. We were not notified of the outage properly, and in this case it was by the regulator, until the Friday afternoon.
So that no one in the department or the Minister's Office knew anything about this outage until 3:30 p.m. on Friday?
We were made aware of the major outage at 3:30 p.m. on the Friday. Of the outage properly on the Friday. But even then, it was not a...
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the question. Is it correct that no one in the department knew of this outage until 3:30 p.m. on Friday?
Because we had not been told through the appropriate channels.
So, Steph, how has the government responded to this?
Well, it's a bit of a moving feast at the moment, Ros. First of all, the department has been saying it notified the Communications Minister on Friday, but now from those emails that we've obtained, it looks like the Communications Minister's Office should have known about this firstly on the Thursday. Second to that, we've learnt today that the Communications Minister did actually delay her trip to New York, where she was speaking on the sidelines of the UN meetings about the social media ban. So there had been some criticism from the opposition about Annika Wells heading to the US while this crisis was unfolding, but today, confirmation, she did actually delay her trip to look into this crisis before she headed overseas. For what it's worth, the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has been out today. He was asked on two occasions for his view on the timeline and who knew what when. Take a little bit of a listen to how he answered the question.
The independent investigation will be undertaken, and we need to make sure that the failure by Optus in this case doesn't happen again. It's as simple as that, and we will work to ensure that that is the case.
Now, ACMA, which is the Australian Communications Media Authority, is investigating this Optus outage, alongside Optus doing its own investigation as well. The Prime Minister was speaking here in Canberra alongside the Prime Minister of Singapore. Now, of course, the reason that's all connected is that Optus's parent company is Singtel, which is Singapore-owned, and the Prime Minister was asked for his views on the outage.
I understand fully the anger, frustration and outrage at what has happened. Because if this were to have happened in Singapore, I would feel the same. So from that point of view, we understand the sentiments. I've extended my condolences to those impacted by the outage, including the family members and loved ones of those who lost their lives, which is tragic. And all I can do is to say, from a government's perspective, we expect our companies to act responsibly. And we will certainly expect Singtel and Optus to comply fully with the laws, to do whatever they can to cooperate with the investigation.
So the big question is, could an outage like this occur again? And no one seems to have a clear answer on that. What we do know is that the telco bosses have agreed to do some stress testing of the triple-0 system ahead of the bushfire season.